The universal appeal of the design's muted grayscale means it may be utilized in any language and culture. WhatsApp is the most widely used messaging app, with over 2 billion monthly active users keeping in constant contact with friends, family, and co-workers. When compared to its rivals, WhatsApp doesn't bother you with annoying ads, doesn't make you pay for its service, and doesn't sell your data. How on earth do they manage to make enough money to pay for the billions of messages that are sent every single day? In this video, we will understand the motivations of the people who created WhatsApp before we can figure out how the company generates money. They weren't born into wealth, and they were well into their 30s when they came up with the concept for WhatsApp, while they were job hopping in Silicon Valley. This was because in the early 2000s, the group quit their employment at Yahoo because they didn't agree with the company's lack of ideas. If you're familiar with Silicon Valley, you might have a preconceived notion of what Brian Acton and Han Kumb, the creators of WhatsApp, are like. Not only did they not come from affluent backgrounds, but they were well into their 30s when they came up with the idea for WhatsApp. However, after realizing that Facebook has no principles, they decided to make their own app. At the time, Brian and Jan had both seen the massive success of the new iPhone in 2008 and the potential of its brand new app store. In order to try and take advantage of this fact, they both set out to make their own app, but their first attempts were unsuccessful. However, they continued to try and make their own app. Originally, the purpose of the app was to provide users with the ability to update their status and communicate with their friends using the messages component of the app. However, the app was flawed and caused the battery life of any phone that used it to degrade rapidly. So, the app's creator, Brian, almost got the user to give up on the project before he could show him how the app's success in the long run would make up for the early problems. However, when they began testing the app on real users, they noticed that users were genuinely altering their statuses as a kind of informal communication. This information was uncovered when they began testing the app on real users. Jan and Brian quickly built WhatsApp into a simple messaging service after recognizing an opportunity in the market. What distinguished WhatsApp from other applications developed in Silicon Valley, and what distinguished the company's founders was that it was founded on values that were fundamentally opposed to those of the industry. They don't support any of the conventional approaches to making money off of applications, since they think those approaches are too dated. People enjoyed WhatsApp because it was a free alternative to messaging that was easy to use and did not have a lot of extra clutter. WhatsApp was linked to your phone number to make it even easier to use. Because of the app's timeliness, its architecture, and the aspirations of its founders, this was made feasible. However, the app was eventually discontinued because there were neither ads nor in-app purchases available. This kind of rapid growth at the time was unprecedented, and it caught the attention of some of the biggest investors in Silicon Valley. In fact, Jan and Brian told contacts at Yahoo about the progress the app was making, and the two of them organized a $250,000 initial investment together. It only took a few months after the app's launch for over 250,000 people to join the app. In contrast to the standard Silicon Valley practice of reinvesting investment funds to speed up a company's growth, WhatsApp creators decided to put that cash aside until they figured out how the company could generate revenue. Investors provided cash for WhatsApp that was just barely sufficient to keep the servers up. Because of this, Cian and Brian were able to maintain the app's integrity while keeping their operating costs low and getting more people to use it. It attracted more investors, who in turn helped WhatsApp grow to accommodate and attract more users. This grew the app's user base even more, which in turn attracted more investors, and so on and so forth. Over the next few years, it would become clear that WhatsApp creators had accomplished something truly remarkable. They had avoided selling data, avoided selling ads, and implemented a small fee of $1 for the app without forcing anyone to pay it, much like a Wikipedia donation. And yet, the company was on its way to becoming a billion-dollar behemoth. This made things even easier. And within a year of creating the firm, the founders were flooded with proposals to purchase the app from Google and other large technology giants. These bids came up during the first year of the company's existence. However, the founders of the firm saw the potential of their company better than anybody else, and they refused to sell the company because they did not want to compromise their ideals. In other words, Jan and Brian were able to turn their idea into a multi-billion-dollar firm in just a few short years, despite the fact that they created very little in the way of actual cash during that time. At the time it was made, WhatsApp's only valuable asset was a large number of people who used it. So the app's creators used the number of users to get investment money. They were aware that they needed to find a way to commercialize the program without compromising the fundamental ideas and beliefs, or else the investors would pull back. Then one day, the chief executive officers of WhatsApp, Jan Koum, and his partner Brian Acton received a call that would change their lives forever. In the past, Facebook had rejected employment applications from the people who would later start WhatsApp. Now, however, Facebook is making an offer to buy the firm for $9.18 billion. This offer was so much more than the firm was truly worth, and Mark Zuckerberg even offered to let the founders operate the company autonomously, indicating that the founders were completely misguided. Jan and Brian probably knew it was too good to be true at that time. But who could resist an offer of $19 billion? With that kind of money, the founders, their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren would never have to work again, and they would have complete freedom to do whatever they pleased. There is no way that WhatsApp could be worth over 10 times as much in just 1 year, as the app was still barely making any money at all, and so they sold the company, announcing the acquisition in early 2014. I mean, just a year ago at this time, WhatsApp was valued at $1.5 billion. There is no way that it could be worth over 10 times as much in just 1 year. The important thing to ask, though, is why Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg would invest so much money in WhatsApp. What do you think thus far about the video? We would love to hear your comments. Hopefully, you're enjoying the content. If you want more videos like this one, remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's go back to the video. WhatsApp, according to Facebook's massive data machine, was doing Messenger's job better. For example, it had a much higher average engagement. People simply use WhatsApp a lot more than Messenger. With both apps under its control, Zuckerberg would then be able to further expand his monopoly. And this wasn't going unnoticed, because Mark Zuckerberg was also in the process of purchasing Instagram at the same time. Facebook and WhatsApp were concerned that the deal wouldn't pass Europe's anti-monopoly checks. However, they were able to convince the officials that Facebook would never get access to WhatsApp data because WhatsApp end-to-end encryption was ironclad, and people trusted the app because of this. Due to the fact that not even WhatsApp could read the messages, it was extremely difficult to collect any data. Despite Zuckerberg's repeated assurance to the founders that he would remain true to their values and ideals and use their vision for the future of WhatsApp. This vagueness, on the other hand, was enough to convince the founders and the European Commission, and the deal was finalized in a fairly short amount of time. Government authorities now consider this to be one of the worst monopoly choices ever made, and the founders will come to deeply regret it in the years to come. However, at the moment, everything appeared ideal, and Zuckerberg was going to make the most of this error in judgment. Today, WhatsApp is getting close to having 3 billion users, which means that Facebook has access to nearly half of the world's personal information and is starting to use it to the fullest extent after consolidating its holdover WhatsApp and putting out the controversial privacy changes advertisement. With the help of WhatsApp, Facebook was able to earn about $115 billion across all of its platform in 2021, which was a record amount. That's all for today. So what do you think of the story behind WhatsApp? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, remember to give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe if you still need to. See you at the next one. And cut!